Hey friends, I just realized I didn't edit the comment that's pinned. We have Wings and Talents coming this weekend, so that is really excited. Um, Backtrack a little bit. My name's Ellen. If you're new here, I'm from Wild Birds Unlimited in Joliet. On Fridays, we go live to tell you what's new, what's happening at the store, and what's happening out in nature. So tonight, we're going to talk all about nesting material. Yeah, last week we talked about nesting boxes. So if you want to see that video, you can go onto our YouTube page, or of course you could go in on our Facebook page and scroll and find that video. But we have all of our Facebook videos that we film for Facebook on our YouTube, so that you can go back and see that. What we talked about, and go hear that information in case you missed it or didn't get a chance to see it. So it lives there because Facebook doesn't allow us to keep them for a long period of time here. So for us to be able to keep our videos up for you guys to see, we put them on YouTube. I believe the link is in that comment on the very bottom of it. So if you need it, there it is for you. But this week we have things happening, and that's the first thing I want to talk about is what is happening this week and the rest of March. What can we expect? Well, tomorrow we have Wings and Talents coming. That's really exciting for us. They are one of our wonderful bird ambassador groups. All of their birds have sustained injuries that makes them unreleasable. So they are really doing their best duties by coming and being educational birds, so that we get to learn about them and see how wonderful and beautiful these creatures are. And they get to live the rest of their lives as spoiled little birds at Wings and Talents facility in Itasca. So they are going to be here from 11 to 2. You can come anytime. It's kind of like an open house, how that works. And we are going to be putting it, we're going to be doing a couple things. We're going to be doing a donation. We have already started our collection. Wanted to show you our box is getting filled. In fact, there's stuff underneath this table where the box is, because not all of it fits. So thank you if you brought things ahead of time. I really, really appreciate it. If you are going to bring stuff on Saturday, really excited, be sure you get it here before the end of 2 o'clock so that they can take it with them. But they are asking for paper towels, dish detergent, dish sponges, Clorox wipes, Holy rollers for like dog ball toys, and of course monetary donations. All of that is going to help support their birds at their facility, help collect all the supplies that they need to do that. And of course they are 100% volunteer based, and they are a 501c3 nonprofit. So 100% of the donations that you make go directly to supporting their birds and the facility that they are housed. So every little bit helps, and we are always so appreciative of them coming out for us. We know we are going to be seeing a turkey vulture tomorrow. And there is also going to be another surprise bird. It will be an owl. I will not disclose the name of the type of owl unless you already know, because we already told you if you came in today. But it should be really, really exciting. And it's a really good opportunity to come and see these birds pretty close. So really excited for that. But also happening this month, the next Saturday, the 21st at 11 o'clock, we're talking about goldfinches. So in the month of March, you might have even noticed there are some changes going on with our goldfinches, right? We are starting to see the process of their molt beginning to happen into their breeding plumage. So that's that bright yellow. We are going to be seeing a lot more brightly colored birds soon, which is very, very exciting. And I thought to highlight this special occasion, we should talk about goldfinches here at the store. So next Saturday, we are presenting on goldfinches. Everyone is welcome. There are a limited amount of seating we have here, so do call the store if you really want to get in on this presentation, and we will reserve a seat for you. Otherwise, you are more than welcome to bring your own chair or just come as it is. It's usually not a super long presentation anyway. Um, but we'll give you all those tips and tricks and all the information that you need to keep your goldfinches and keep them happy to keep coming back all year round, because they are in fact here all year round. They are just about to start taking off those winter jackets to show off their beautiful spring colors for us, so that is very exciting. Also happening at the end of March, we are having a feeder swap event. So if you remember, I believe it was last year, maybe it was 2 years ago, we hosted our first feeder swap event. So how that works is if you bring in a old feeder, it does not have to be a Wild Birds Unlimited feeder, it could be any feeder. And if you bring that in, you're going to get 20% off of any new feeder. Now, if you don't have a feeder to exchange, you can still get in on all the good action. We are offering 15% off of all of our feeders, even without an exchange, but you get an extra 5%, 20% off of a new feeder if you do bring in an old feeder. Now, you might be asking, well, what am I doing with all your old feeders? Well, if they are in good condition or repairable condition, we are going to clean them up and we're going to donate them to nature centers, schools, nursing homes, all sorts of different groups that would appreciate having a feeder. Now, I know as much as you probably know how much benefits there are to watching birds. So that is what I want to do, is I want to be able to repurpose your old feeders and give them a new life to share the joy of birds with other people. So hopefully you can help me on that mission, and together we can spread the joy birds bring to all of us in a greater capacity in our community. Also, keep this date on your calendar. Spring feeder cleaning event is happening April 11th. Okay, all the details are on the sheet here at the store. I haven't quite gotten to updating April events yet on Facebook or our website, but I promise they're going to be coming soon with more of the details, but they are here at the store. All right, now that we're done with that, let's get to the big stuff that we want to show off, because I do have some new things, but I'm going to wait until the very end to show those. We did get our Henry bird bath order in, so we have lots of pretty bird baths and bubblers and all sorts of kinds of cute stuff. I'm going to show you, but at the very end. First, I want to talk all about nesting material, because nesting season is upon us. We are at the starting line for nesting season. So let's talk exactly how, what we should be offering, how we should offer that, things that we should avoid. Okay, let's talk about it. So birds in general don't really need our help to find nesting material. They do an excellent job of foraging on their own. But because nesting season is really just a short period of time in a bird's life, and in the season, and it's very stressful, right? Some birds are migrating in and then they have to do all the preparation. Some birds are here already, but they still have to find a territory, attract a mate, build the nest, raise the young. It's just a very stressful time. So if we can provide safe, good nesting material, we're just taking one thing off of the list of a big to-do list for birds during this season. Think about it this way too. We all know someone in our lives that has maybe once been pregnant or has been pregnant, and you know when they are preparing, there is a long to-do list, right? That mother has a long to-do list of things she wants to do before her young arrive. And you know, a lot of times friends and family will come in and pitch in and help with those tasks. We can be the friends for the birds by providing nesting material in a safe manner, and in doing so, we are going to take one task off of their list that they need to do in preparation for baby time. Okay, so let's talk about it, right? Safe nesting material can be in numerous things. Natural material such as, twigs, sticks, even leaves sometimes, wood chips are all things that birds will naturally find in nature to be used as nesting material. Now, there are other non natural, or should I say, can't always be found in nature kind of items. So, such as alpaca nesting material, or even this is a natural cotton material. This stuff is all good nesting materials. We also carry the Hummer Helper. Right, I think a lot of you are so familiar with this. We finally got in more of the refills. I know how popular they are, so we finally got restocked on them. But again, this is all natural cottony material that is natural. So it's not dyed, it's not synthetic. This is all natural products, right? So this stuff is safe. What we are trying to avoid are things that are non-natural and maybe synthetic or straight out unsafe for the birds. So what exactly are we talking about there? Let me list them for you, okay? We want to avoid plastic or synthetic material such as tinsel, cellophane, foil, dryer lint, yarn or string, especially very long pieces of that, and and long or treated hair. Okay, so that could be sometimes we people ask if you can use pet fur, right? And in fact, there are birds out in nature that are plucking away at dog's fur as they peacefully sleep out in the spring day. There are birds that will take, fox hair. And like the tuffet titmouse is notoriously known to do this, but go up to an animal and pick out the hair and take it away for their own nest. That occurs naturally, and we know that the wildlife that they are pulling that from are not treated. Okay, so when we have our dog out there and maybe our pet has been treated for flea and tick or other medications that they are taking, that stuff is actually been now scientifically proven to actually harm birds. And the reason why that happens is, not just pet hair, but human hair too. If you dye it or if you use treatments of any kind in your own hair, that chemicals such as from our shampoos and things like that, that also can be harmful. Baby bird skin is so fragile, and that thin baby skin will seep in those treatments. Okay, so that's unsafe for them. So why is yarn and string unsafe, especially at long lengths? Well, unfortunately, babies can entangle and get so tangled up that they harm themselves in that process, and even to the point of no longer being with us any longer. So it is just best that we do our best duty to provide safe nesting materials, okay? So just because a bird may have used it. So I remember as a Girl Scout making those balls of yarn that birds could take away. And now we know that the synthetic yarn, those colorful pieces that we used to put out there, are now unsafe for birds, okay? It was well-meaning, but now that we know things that can be done better, we should do better, right? So just because a bird may use yarn or may use treated hair doesn't mean that that we should allow that always to happen. All right, we should be helping making those safe nesting materials options more accessible during this time of year. So do that. You can do that, okay? So sometimes, people always ask me, how do I put nesting material out? Well, in some of these cases, like our WBU nesting ball has that little string on it. Some of them have a little cage that already comes with it. So the nesting material is held in there and then the birds pull it out. But not all of them come like that. And it's not always the case that you have to use the container that it's in. So sometimes I will take this netting that is on this little bag, this ball of nesting material, and I'll put it into something else. And I'll show you just what I might use. In fact, I do use these in my own yard when I'm collecting nesting material. So sometimes it's just a matter of telling yourself or your kids or your neighbors' kids to go collect some great bird nesting material. And they are so great at coming up with little sticks and twigs and um, uh, leaves and whatnot that could be maybe potentially grabbed and collected and just put on a table for the birds to take at their leisure. Maybe you don't want it on your table, so maybe you put it in the yard somewhere where they can just grab it at their will. That's why a brush area pile can be very helpful, because sometimes birds will find their own nesting material right in that spot where they can also seek shelter if a predator comes nearby. But there are other things we can put it in. For example, a big popular one that we like to use and talk about is using suet cages to hold nesting material. Now, a suet cage like this could hold some of these cottony materials. It can also be a great holder for sticks and twigs that you collect and provide for them. So what I would do is just open it up and loosely place them so that the birds can work out the individual sticks as they need. Same with the nesting material. Whether I'm using it like this or putting it into a container, I like to fluff out that nesting material, right? Fluff it out. Make it more easy for the birds to try to grab it. When you get this ball to begin with, it is really compact, but you can make it easier for the birds to use it and make it more accessible to them by just simply pulling out some of the tufts of cotton. Now, on this net, sometimes I will also make the holes a little larger. So maybe I'll cut the net a little bit so that the hole is a little bit larger and we can pull a little bit more of that cotton material out so that the birds have an easier time accessing it. But suet cages aren't the only way to provide it. You yourself may have many options right in your own home that you may not even think about. So other feeders that I like to use for nesting material, think any cage-like material or feeder. So this is one of our suet ball feeders, and we have suet cylinder feeders. All of these could be used to be filled up with nesting material so that birds can pull it out. Okay, so another great example is our seed cylinder wreath. Yes, we have wonderful seed cylinders, especially for spring, but if you have gotten an extra one or so throughout the seasons or from Christmas, this makes a great multitasking item, right? So I could use this for a seed cylinder wreath, definitely. I could also use this for suet balls. I could also use this for nesting material. And I would simply, again, cut out this ball of nesting material, take all the nesting material out, fluff it all out, and then lay it in here, close the feeder, and hang it up, and it's ready to go, ready for birds to use at their need. Now, I know you're asking, well, where do we put it once we fill it? Now, there is no right or wrong answer. Birds will pretty much take nesting material anywhere they can find it. So think like a bird. Where do you see your birds most? Is it the bush next to the house? Is it near the feeders? Either way is going to be a good choice. Okay, you want it to be somewhere where they can physically see it. Birds find food and other objects by sight. So that is what I highly recommend. Here at the store, you'll see our nesting material is hung in between feeders. It's within our feeding area. Okay, at home, I have it kind of amongst my feeders as well. But that doesn't mean to say that I don't have other resources elsewhere in my yard. It just means that maybe I'm hanging one here, maybe I'll hang another across the yard, so that as birds are hanging out, they might see it and say, they have something I need to help me in this season. Okay, I hope that helps, okay? I know it's a short one, it's a short topic, but it's a really important topic because birds are already starting these behaviors, nesting behaviors, and we want to make sure that we are prepared for them, all right? You can help them out greatly by just doing that. Yes, I'm taking you on a walk because we are going to see some of the beautiful bird baths that have come in. Let me turn it just a bit. Show you some here. We have gotten in our Henry Studio bird baths. These are all concrete bird baths. They are stained. They are absolutely stunning. They are a show-stopping piece. I have quite a few new ones here. Some old returning from that we've had in the past, but I know they're super, super popular. We only get one of each style. So if you really, really like something, I'm telling you, grab it before it's gone because they will go quickly. I want to take you on a quick tour, so bear with me as I move you a little bit. But check out this new hummingbird one. How adorable is that? And this is a new hosta one. We have a whole bunch of new ones. This is a large grapevine. This one has so much detail in it. I don't even know if the video is going to show all the detail. You have to come in and see these for yourself. Over here, we also have some new things too. I want to show you some new bird baths. We have some returning favorites, right? The tulip was a super popular one last year. This has kind of like a patinaed look. It is absolutely stunning. This is a short grapevine. We have a brand new, really tall, it's called the Pillar. It's super, super handsome and very classy looking bird bath. And we, of course, have the bubblers back again. So they are here for you. And I hope you come in and check them out. Again, they're not going to be here forever. We only have one of each. So come in and stop in and grab it. All right, guys. You guys have a wonderful evening. Don't forget, Wings and Talents comes here tomorrow from 11 to 2. Don't forget to bring any donations if you would like to help contribute to their facility and to their birds. And we will see you also. 15th ends. The March 15th ends our 10 off of $75 purchase promotion that we have running. You just come in, you can make an order online, but the 15th is the last day to take advantage of that. So put your order in before that 15th comes up. All right, guys, you have a great weekend. We hope to see you. And if I don't see you, happy St. Patrick's Day, and we'll see you next Friday for Friday Live. All right, bye now.